And what I've picked up from our leaders is the fact that they are so open-minded that it's not always about the book knowledge or your qualifications, but more about your attitude.
100%.
And I think that is a very important one, especially when you say, okay, my name is Alreen Hart and I'm actually the HR manager at this group of companies in the enterprise development. And I think it's very important when you employ people that you employ the right people on the right bus, like they normally say. So the five things as a recruiter, I would say, looking at employing a person. The first one will definitely be the skills or the qualifications or the certification, depending on the position that the person's going to have in your company. And then definitely the ability to be adaptable, because now with the changing environment basically of companies and technology, it's very important for a person to upskill himself and also be willing to learn new skills just to stay relevant in your company as well. The other one, I think, which is very important for a person, is to have emotional intelligence. That just makes you a very good team player, and that also fosters a very good culture within your company. Something else that I will be looking at as well is to be a reliable, or to look at a reliable employee. You have to take responsibility and be an accountable person within your division as well as a person. My last point will be to look at a person with integrity, that loyal person, that person that wants to grow within your company, the person that takes accountability for the divisions as well as for whatever they are responsible for.
So I'm Rosanna Jam. I am in the Human Capital Division at Inkeli. So the five that I'll be covering would be more soft skills and maybe a little bit the obvious top five mixed with little less obvious top fives, but then just combining them all together. So firstly, I'm going to touch on the ones that I already covered. Communication is very important. Being able to listen actively, asking the right questions. That's why it will also be tied into emotional intelligence, because it's important to be able to manage relationships, and when you know how you feel and somebody else is feeling, it's a great success. The next one would be problem solving, and I coupled that with creative problem framing, because like Aline says, we are always, everything's changing all the time. We need to be able to think quickly, strategically, make things happen. And if you can able to reframe these questions or the problems, we are able to get to the right answers or what the actual problem is. Adaptability. We are always changing, like I said. It's about learning, relearning and unlearning and all of those good things, because things are changing so fast nowadays, especially with technology. Teamwork, collaboration is key, but that also talks about being culturally aware and inclusive, because there's so many diversities or different people working together. It's nice to feel seen and heard and accepted for who we are. And finally, professionalism and work ethic, very important. It's good to know that you can get the job done and the right way. And then I'll couple that one with resilience and stress management. You are going to be stressed out. Things always have deadlines. It's good to be able to work with stress and manage yourself, so that we can always make sure that the job is done effectively. And most importantly, accountability with it. Taking accountability, being reliable, being consistent, very important.
Can I just ask then, I totally agree with everything that Rosanna is saying. I think that will be the ideal employee that you appoint. But most of the times when you appoint a person, it's when you've got the process started basically with the CV that you receive and you have that interview, you don't really always know, because some people sell themselves so well in an interview. So it's actually quite difficult to gauge a person just on that interview.
Yeah, I think it'll be that when you're in an interview, I think you'll be able to tell when someone's willing. And when you're willing, then you know they're ready for growth.
Yeah.
Then you'll be like, it'll be easy to say, okay, I feel like on feedback sessions, you should be able to work on something like this and this and this. And when you're willing, you'll take it and not take it as an insult, but more like constructive criticism. Because I mean, we won't, it's like marriage, you're not going to marry the perfect partner.
No, definitely.
But it's like, we're going to work together to get to that space. Yeah, but yeah, you're in HR, so you'll be able to.
You know what I've picked up with in Gailey especially, because we've actually got an entrepreneurial spirit within the company. And what I've picked up from our leaders is the fact that they are so open-minded that it's not always about the book knowledge or your qualifications, but more about your attitude.
100%.
And and I think that is a very important one, especially when you say the adaptability, the person that shows initiative, the person that actually wants to learn more, that's prepared to go the extra mile.
Right. And hopefully you grow amazingly in your career. Let us know if you feel that there are another 5 or other traits or valued skills that you think is more important.